Good day, everyone. How are y'all doing? Hope everyone is feeling groovy, realizing the government does not love you, and also realizing that everything you've been told since the day you were born is indeed a lie. It is July the 8th of 2025, 2:37 p.m. Mr. Buzz is coming to you from the communist shithole that is known as Ontario, Canada. And talk about lies. Well, yeah, we're going to talk. This video is going to be an explosion of truth. Lies, 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 and more lies is all we get. So this is one of the reasons that over the last couple of days, after I decided to take a break from making videos, watched all this stuff unfold, and like, pretty much have to talk about that. And I'm talking about a couple things, but first we're going to talk about what's happened in Texas. The flash flood. What a sad situation. I've been watching these events now, since Maui. That was the first, it goes back even further. Paradise, California. There was wildfires years ago, and shady as can be, everybody was pretty sure it was DEWs that were responsible for it. So it's not just DEWs they're using, it's their cloud seeding and their weather modification. This is a real good weapon, because you just blame it on the weather, right? Which is what they blame wildfires on too. They say it's climate change causing that. That's asinine. That's not even reasonable. Anyone who believes climate change is causing all those wildfires, they need to give their head a good shake, because it's very obviously not climate change, nothing to do with that. It's completely ridiculous. It's not even a reasonable lie. It's a stupid lie. But some people believe it. Some people actually do. Now, there's a real hint that I've spoken about this before as to the fact that this is being done on purpose. This is weather warfare. Almost everywhere where this happens is a site that they want for a smart city. This one in Texas is no exception. And it's happening right now as we speak in North Carolina as well. A place called Durham City, which, can you guess, is scheduled to be a smart city. It's been devastated. It's been totally devastated. And last year, or whenever it was, when they hit North Carolina with a hurricane, that was a site where there's a whole bunch of minerals, quartz and lithium, that they're after. Every time, if you dig into what that area is all about, it's either minerals or they want to make it a smart city. Over and over, same thing. And this one in Texas, where they swept away all these people at it's called Camp Mystic, a camp for young girls, summer camp. That one looks like these people were possibly targeted as well. They're almost always conservatives. The North Carolina disaster was as well. In Maui, it was people with ancestral rights to the land that were targeted. It becomes very, very obvious. Okay, this is not natural weather that we're seeing wipe these places out. Not at all. The river in the Texas flood, can't remember the exact number, but it raised something like 37 feet in 3 hours. I want you to try and grasp that. Try and get your head around a river raising 37 feet in a matter of 3 hours. Absolutely unbelievable. Natural weather does not cause these things. Now, lies, yes, we're getting lots of lies. Of course, they're blaming it all on the Trump administration getting rid of USAID because they took away some funding for something, it's all his fault. That's what a ridiculous. That's not even, again, that's not a reasonable lie at all. That's ridiculous. It's weather modification. It is cloud seeding that did that. There's zero doubt in my mind. But just to go sideways for a second and talk about the true evil of people. There's 100 and some people dead. A whole bunch of them were young teenage girls, or actually younger than teenage. A lot of them were like 8 and 9 years old. They found 2 young girls with their hands locked together. I can't even talk about some of the stories that. But then you get people going on social media, going on TikTok and whatever, saying, well, you guys got what you deserved because you voted for Trump. So just evil. Evil, evil. Some of these people doing this, speaking like that online, lost their jobs. One of them was a pediatrician. She had this really good job, and she's a doctor. As soon as she said that did it. She was let go. And another person is actually being sued or something because of it. It's like, it's just crazy how evil people can be. People lost their children in that flash flood. They were sleeping. They were swept away while they were in their beds. And people are going to celebrate this and gloat about it. Unreal. Anyone who does that, whatever the consequences are that hit them, they do deserve it. Because that's just pure evil. That is just pure evil. That could very well be their children having that happen to them. So, do not believe this narrative that this is all because of us using gas stoves and gas-powered cars and we've too much emissions and now we've changed the climate that this is happening. No. They've been on this for years, making it look like the climate is changing. Isn't it a coincidence? At the exact same time that they developed all this weather modification technology. They've got tons of it now. China's heavy into this. I don't know if China's doing it. I don't know if the CIA is doing it. I'm not sure who's doing it. But somebody is definitely doing it. It might even be different groups doing it because it's happening in China too. Maybe we're doing it to China and China's doing it to us. I don't know. But there's a whole lot of weather modification going on. That is absolutely for sure. So now let's talk about more lies. Jeffrey Epstein. They've basically said, case closed. There are no clients that he had. There are no people to prosecute. And he definitely committed suicide because here's the video. And they release a video. I forget how many hours. A whole bunch of hours of this door that somebody would have had to go through to get to him. If it was a murder rather than he offed himself. Well, at 11:58 and 59 seconds, so it's 11:58 p.m., just about to turn to midnight. Well, it's 1 minute away from midnight, I guess. All of a sudden, the clock jumps right to 12. There's a whole minute was edited out of the video, and it's a terrible edit. It's an obvious edit. Now, this confuses me. Most people just think, okay, this is the minute when whoever the killer was went in, so they edited out that minute. That's on the surface. That's the easiest guess to make. But this edit is so sloppy and so obvious, the FBI is going to do a sloppy edit like that and then release it to the public? I don't think so. I don't think so. They obviously wanted us to see that they edited it. There's some other purpose here. There has to be. There's no possible way they edited that so sloppy that every single person who sees it it's obvious that it's been doctored. And the video has zero credibility. Okay, none. Because of that. You can't edit out a minute. And besides that, the original story was the cameras weren't working, which is what they said at the Pentagon 9/11, which is what they always say. No matter what, it's, oh, the cameras just malfunctioned. January 6th, cameras apparently malfunctioned and turned away from all the incriminating stuff. Steve Baker, a guy on The Blaze, he exposed that. Right when all this stuff happened, all of a sudden these cameras turned away from where the action was. This is always what we get, the same story. The cameras malfunctioned. Right at the crucial moment. Isn't that... It's amazing how they do that all the time. We get the same thing here. So, it's nothing but lies. If you listen to these people at all, and I don't care who they are, everybody had faith in Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. I don't have any faith in them whatsoever. Ted Cruz, another evil one. A lot of people trust him. Don't trust him. Every time a disaster happens in Texas, he's on vacation in another country. Every time. This one's no different. He just happened to leave just before this big flash flood and everything. That's their alibis. They're not around. They're just innocent on vacation. Always the same bullshit. When the Maui disaster happened, the mayor, the governor, the fire chief, all of them just happened to be off of the island for the night at a conference. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. So the lies are obvious, folks. They're really obvious. Now, I'm really sick of hearing about the Jeffrey Epstein story, to be honest. The only reason I'm even talking about it is because I'm trying to figure out what is the reason for doing that sloppy edit that everybody was obviously going to notice. Why do they want us to know that? If they wanted to doctor that video so that nobody could detect a thing, believe me, they can do that. Even I could do that. That's not that hard. Some editing software and 20 minutes. You could take that minute out. You could probably even doctor the clock so it doesn't do the jump of the full minute. I'm sure there's a way to do that. Didn't bother. And the editing menu up in the corner. You can see the editing menu right in the top right corner of the video. I mean, I wouldn't even be that sloppy. Sure, the FBI's not going to be. Unless they wanted us to see that. And I can't figure that out yet, but that is my hunch. That was done on purpose, for some reason. They're trying to stir up trouble. They're trying to stir up a civil war. And I think they're eventually going to get their way, unfortunately. So yeah, here's my explosion of truth today. Weather modification, smart cities, edited Jeffrey Epstein videos. All lies. All lies that they're telling. And if you think Fox News is any better than CNN, they're not. They're not. Every mainstream media outlet is lying straight time. I'm so sick of journalists. Some of them are terrible liars too. If you're good at detecting liars, watch the mainstream media, and these people are obvious liars. They're not even good at it. The CIA didn't train them very well. It gets really difficult to watch after a while. So watch out for the weather modification, folks. If you hear that the place you live is scheduled to be a smart city, have an escape plan, because they either burn them or they flood them out, or hit them with a hurricane and a flood, or whatever. Actually, they can cause earthquakes now too. They have an earthquake machine. Isn't that lovely? So, I will leave it there. That's enough of an explosion of truth. YouTube really won't like this video. They don't like any of my videos. So be it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.